She just wants to be beautiful. She goes unnoticed. She knows no limits. She craves attention. She praises an image she prays to be sculpted by the sculptor. Oh, she don't see the light.
Happy Sunday. Welcome to Empower. This is Angela Moore on 9 a.m. Superstation, the future of radio. Please tune in every Sunday from 3 to 5 p.m. This radio show is designed to educate and motivate you to be the best that you can be through mental and physical health education. I am your empowerment coach. As a licensed counselor and certified personal trainer, I want to empower you through healthy thinking, healthy living, and exercise. Today, for your health and empowerment, I will be talking with Jenny O'Laughlin, owner and director of Thrive Hot Yoga, about an exciting upcoming event at the Ford Arts, Beats, and Eats, and how yoga can help you overcome obstacles in all aspects of life. I will also be talking with certified vegan lifestyle coach and educator Kelly Makia about how a whole food, plant-based diet can radically improve your life and reverse and or prevent almost all major diseases. Call 313-778-7600 with your questions and or comments, or if you would like to join in on the conversation today. So let me tell you a little bit about my first guest. Jenny O'Laughlin is the owner and director of Thrive Hot Yoga, which has 2 locations in Metro Detroit, located in Troy and Farmington Hills, and it's in its 12th year of transforming lives. Jenny has been a certified yoga teacher since 2000 and a certified teacher of transcendental meditation since 2009. Welcome back to Empower, Jenny. It's a pleasure to have you on the show today.
Thanks so much for having me back, Angela. I'm really happy to be here.
Yeah, me too. In our recent conversation, you mentioned that you are hosting a large outdoor class at the Ford Arts, Beats, and Eats to benefit the Chica Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Please tell my listeners about where and when this event will be taking place.
Okay, this event is going to be on Sunday, September 2nd at 9 a.m., and it's going to be at Ford Arts, Beats, and Eats on the Michigan Lottery stage. So that's the really big stage where they have all the concerts at Arts, Beats, and Eats. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be a large outdoor yoga class with music. And there's a $10 donation for the class, and that donation will go to the Chica Fund, which is a nonprofit organization that supports 40-some orphans at the Have Faith Orphanage in Haiti. So the Chica Fund specifically is for medical care for these kids.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, I saw on the website that it also includes inoculations, nutrition, regular doctor checkups, as well as medical tests, and if needed, hospitalization.
Yeah, it does. And they will fly kids to the United States to get medical treatment if that's needed, because Chica was one of the children who was one of the original children at the Have Faith Orphanage, mm-hmm. and she had a brain tumor. And so they brought her here, and she was treated at Mott Hospital, and I think they flew her to New York and just got her the best medical treatments that they could, because those do not exist in Haiti. Mm-hmm. So I know they have a couple kids that they bring back and forth to make sure they're getting the best medical care possible. Unfortunately, insurance companies won't pay, they won't insure children from Haiti. So all of this has to come out of pocket. And I think, my daughter has a severe medical condition called myelomeningocele spina bifida, mm-hmm. and she's alive and well and thriving today because of the medical care that she's gotten. Mm-hmm. And I'm really, I'm aware of the fact that if she were born in Haiti, she probably just wouldn't be alive. I probably wouldn't be alive if I was having her in Haiti. Mm-hmm. And so that's kind of why this particular organization spoke to me, because I feel like children everywhere, every single child in the world mm-hmm. should have access to the medical care that they need. Mm-hmm. And it just breaks my heart to think that there are kids who don't have access to medical care. It's just shocking to me.
It is shocking. It's interesting because that was going to actually be my next question. I was going to ask you, being that they have so many charities and foundations, that strive to help and provide needed services to those in need. Mm-hmm. How did you come upon the Chica Foundation?
It's a really good question, actually, and it has a great story to it.
I would love to hear about it.
So my daughter has spina bifida, which is a neural tube defect. It's a birth defect, and it's a pretty severe one where part of the spine, the spinal column, doesn't form properly. Mm-hmm. And it ends up being almost like having a spinal cord injury, where depending on what level the spina bifida occurs at determines how much function you have at your body your body. So my daughter's was at the vertebrae L3. Mm-hmm. So she has minimal use of her legs. She can move them a little bit, mm-hmm. but she doesn't have enough tone to actually stand on her legs. Okay. So we were in between physical therapies this spring, and twice in the same week, two different people on separate occasions mentioned the same physical therapy place. It's called the Walk the Line in Southfield. It's actually right near where we are right now.
Okay, it's called Walk the Line.
Walk the Line in Southfield. And they are amazing. And I brought my daughter in, and they were just like so great with her. And it turns out that her therapists worked with Chica when she was here in the States and getting treatments. And they really loved her. And, you know, it just kind of spoke to me, that particular charity, because I am aware of what Western medicine has done for my daughter. You know, I know in terms of chronic illnesses, there can be some, you know, Western medicine isn't the best, but when it comes to like an acute birth defect or injury, it's just life-changing and life-saving what doctors can do. And the doctors at Mott Hospital, no doubt, saved my daughter's life. Like, there's just no doubt about it. She wouldn't be alive if they did not intervene the way that they did. And I don't think that she would be thriving the way she is if she didn't have all of the other therapies, like occupational therapy and physical therapy, and, you know, just like all the amazing doctors and nurses and nurse practitioners and specialists and subspecialists that are in our lives. So it's not just medical care, but really great medical care. And I think all kids deserve that.
They do. And
Every
as you
single
mentioned,
one.
and if she would have been born in Haiti, she would not receive that medical care.
And it's one thing to have basic medical care. It's another thing to have really good specialized medical care if that's what's necessary.
Now, I recall in our conversation prior to the show, you had mentioned that the Chica Fund was actually taken over by Mitch Albom. Can you talk about that a little bit for those not familiar with the fund?
Yep. So the Chica Foundation, the Have Faith Orphanage in Haiti was started by a church in Detroit.
Okay. So it started by a church in Detroit.
And they did not have funding to keep it going. And, you know, there was a large earthquake in Haiti, which left a bunch of children without parents to take care of them. And so all of these kids have survived that earthquake. And so Mitch stepped in and took over the Have Faith Orphanage in Haiti. It has been single-handedly funding it by himself, practically. And so we wanted to just be a part of that and, you know, offer our help and support as well. And it's sometimes, I think, too, you know, it can get overwhelming when you feel like everything's going wrong in the world out there. Like, what can I do? What can I do to help? But what I like about this particular organization is that it's small, it's local, and it's international at the same time. And there's a small number of kids. You can go online and see the kids who are at the Have Faith Orphanage. And you know exactly where your money is going. It's not like a giant organization where there's a lot of overhead. And it's very personal. It's like, yeah, this yoga community can get together, and yes, we can raise money so that these 40-some kids can have access to medical care. It feels doable. You know, it feels like a change that we can make, and that we can have a connection to the kids.
That's amazing. I actually had the opportunity to go onto the website, and I did see those pictures of those kids. And I was not aware that the orphanage was only housed 42,
something like that.
42 orphans. And I think I had mentioned to you in our conversation prior to the show, I have had the opportunity to meet Mitch Albom personally. I attended his opening for his book, Tuesdays with Maury.
Okay, great.
Yeah, which is a wonderful book and very inspirational book. And I love when I hear about some of the positive things that people like Mitch Albom, things that they've done, and I am glad that you had the opportunity to share that with my listeners, because I don't know that many people know about that very positive thing that he's done.
Yeah, he's a really amazing guy, and I think he keeps it quiet. You know, he's not out there showing off all of, you know, the things that he's doing for humanity, but he is out there doing it in his own quiet way. And you know, everybody in Detroit loves Mitch Albom too, so it's like, you know, it just felt like a really good organization to get involved with.
And can you mention the website to those that are listening that may want to take a look at the website for the, was it Have a Faith?
It's the Have Faith Orphanage in Haiti. And I don't know the actual web address, but if you just Google the Half Faith Orphanage in Haiti, it'll come right up.
And I believe that's actually how I was able to access it, so I think you're correct in that. That is awesome. Now, I want to give you the opportunity, because you did mention the fact that your daughter has struggled, does have spina bifida. I wanted you to give you the opportunity to kind of talk about some of the obstacles that you've had to overcome in caring for her. And I think it would be very inspirational for my listeners to hear that story.
Oh, sure. Well, it's been quite an 18 months. She's 18 months old. She's definitely like my greatest yoga teacher that I've ever had.
I love that.
She's pushed me harder than anyone else has.
Yeah.
With a smile, and a giggle. But she was born with spina bifida, as I mentioned, and there's certain fallout that kind of comes along or goes along with spina bifida. So one is the actual injury that's done to the spinal nerves themselves. It's kind of like ends up being like having a hole in your spine. Hydrocephalus is another fallout that goes along with myelomeningocele, and that is more commonly known as water on the brain. So what happens is we all have cerebral spinal fluid that flows up and down our spine, and there are ventricles in the brain that hold the cerebral spinal fluid, and it's this closed circuit, and the fluid just moves through, and usually there's no problems with it. But what happens is when the spine is closed up, cerebral spinal fluid can't flow through it. Like the spine has to be closed where the myelomeningocele is, where the spina bifida is.
Okay.
And cerebral spinal fluid starts to back up in the ventricles in the brain and pool there. And so a baby's head will just start expanding and growing huge. Fortunately, neurosurgeons can mitigate that with what's called a shunt, but there can be problems with the shunt as well.
Okay, I have heard of that.
If a shunt is put in too early in a baby's life, it can cause an infection or break through the skin. And if that happens, it can cause cognitive damage.
Okay.
If the hydrocephalus is let to be on its own for too long, that will also cause cognitive damage. So there's this very, very stressful time period in the baby's life where, at least with my daughter's case, her head was growing bigger and bigger, and she's starting to look like an alien and couldn't even look up straight. And you have to wait until it's go time where, the shunt's absolutely necessary right now.
Okay.
So that happened for her when she was 5 weeks old. And it's a neurosurgery, so it's a surgery that's done on the brain. Fortunately, she has an amazing neurosurgeon, Dr. Garton at Mott Hospital. And I think he played the odds very, very well. We were lucky that, knock on wood, she did not have any infections with the shunt. And it mitigated the hydrocephalus very, very well. My daughter's knees also did not bend when she was born. She has bilateral dislocated hips, and she was born with bilateral dislocated knees as well.
Oh, my goodness.
So, and she has 2 severe bilateral club feet. So, she had to have another surgery when she was a few months old where they cut the quadriceps tendons and got her knees to bend. And then we went through months and months of serial casting to get her feet straight. And it was actually a physical therapist, his name is Dan Santioni, who actually ended up straightening her feet with a method called the French method for correcting club feet. So it's been a long road just to kind of get her.
Sounds like it has. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. And you know what, though? She's like the most amazing inspiration because she smiles through it all. Like, she's the friendliest baby. You would love her if you met her. And like, I remember when she had one of her surgeries, she was probably like 4 or 5 months old. And when they come out of surgery, they have to go right into recovery, and they're groggy because they've been under anesthesia.
Of course.
And then from recovery, they go to like a secondary recovery room before they let you go.
Right.
And by the time she got to the second recovery room, she was like smiling at the nurses. And, it was like...
She sounds so resilient.
She is really resilient. And, what I get from her, like, and I've gotten from when she was a baby is like, I got this, Mom. Spina bifida is no big deal for me. Like, you're the one who has to, like, chill out a little bit and learn how to deal with this. And, but really, I have had to learn how to deal with it because she's unraveled my world for me in a world where, we say what's important is on the inside. We don't really live that way. We're always like, oh, I've got to improve myself. I've got to look better. I've got to lose 20 more pounds. I've got to get a better makeup and, whatever it is. We never think that we're enough. And what she has taught me is, look, my legs don't work like yours, and it's no big deal. I'm blissfully happy. This is what life is all about. It's all about love and joy and self-expression, and I can do all of that. And I'm going to teach the world to remember who they really are and to remember where happiness and joy really come from. And, it's nothing that you all are putting all of your attention on. So let's get back to what really counts, which is who we are on the inside and enjoying life and, just getting on with it.
Yeah, I love it. So we have a break coming up, so we'll take our break and then we'll continue our conversation. This is Angela Morgan, powered on 910 AM Superstation, the future of radio.
Before she goes, unnoticed she knows, no limits she craves, attention she praises, an image she prays to be sculpted by the sculptor.
Every weeknight at 9 p.m. is something new and something fresh.
This is Todd Corser, and I want you to check out my show. Listen in and call every week as we explore government and hot topics. Tune in, raw and uncut.
This is attorney Michael Schwartz at 910 AM Superstation, and you can hear me every Tuesday night starting at 9 p.m.
Hello, Detroit. This is attorney Crystal Crittenden, and please tune in to my new show, The Truth Matters, on 910 AM Superstation.
Hello, everyone. I'm Charlene Mitchell, your host of Mind Your Business. Listen to my show live every Thursday from 9 to 11 p.m.
I'm Reverend Maya Lisa Reynolds, inviting you to listen to Mama Maya Speaks Friday evenings from 9 until 11 p.m., discussing education, motivation, and inspiration on Superstation 910 AM.
Different names, different voices, but the same energy. 910 AM Superstation. We are the future of radio. 910 AM Superstation is the voice of Detroit. We've assembled an unmatched roster of talent, topics, and opinions designed to reflect the heartbeat of the city. We've got it all: the news, the sports, politics, relationships, activists, and everything in between. We are 910 AM Superstation, the voice of Detroit. 910 AM Superstation is the voice of the people. Don't believe me? Just listen.
I love 910 AM. I listen all day long. So many articulate and thoughtful, diverse voices and wonderful stories.
I always head to the 910 AM website for the latest in entertainment news, community events, and more.
So when you think of 910 AM Superstation, we want you to tune in, call in, and don't forget to find us on social media.
She just wants to be beautiful. She goes unnoticed. She knows no limits. She craves attention. She praises an image.
Welcome back. This is Angela Morgan, powered on 910 AM Superstation, the future of radio. Please tune in every Sunday from 3 to 5 p.m. Call 313-778-7600 if you would like to join in on the conversation today. Today, I am talking with Jenny O'Laughlin of Thrive Hot Yoga. Yes.
Yes.
We are having a wonderful conversation. We will be talking about an upcoming event that they're going to be hosting at the Fort Arts Beats and Eats. But right now, we've been talking and having a wonderful discussion about the love and passion she has for her beautiful daughter that has been struggling with spinal bifida. And so I want to kind of continue that conversation because I believe that there are a lot of people out there that may be caring for a child with special needs that maybe feeling a little overwhelmed by some of the challenges that they face. And so what I want to, talk about is, I want to say this first. I really enjoyed our conversation the last time you were on the show, but I must tell you what I remember most is your optimism and the positive attitude that you had about your child's future and the belief and the expectation that she will thrive as she gets older. And as a mother, of a child and a wife and a business owner, I know that, it can be so difficult trying to deal with the challenges of just that, and especially one with special needs. So for someone that may be faced with similar challenges of caring for a child with special needs, what words of wisdom and hope can you provide?
Oh, well, I'll do my best with this one. Even though in general I have a positive outlook and I absolutely expect my daughter to have the most wonderful life ever, there have been moments of total desperation, sadness, anxiety, grief. The people who know me the best know that I just about fell apart completely basically the first 3 months after she was born, I was having panic attacks, anxiety attacks, and that's not something that I'm used to. So I think, there are so many parents out there of children who are different. I don't think typical is the norm anymore. Whether we're talking about a nervous system that's wired a little bit differently, or a physical disability, or maybe a child is going through struggles with their gender, or, it's like there's just no such thing really anymore as a typical family.
No, I would agree.
I think everybody takes on that they're different from everyone else, even someone who's fully able-bodied and seems outwardly quote unquote normal, whatever that means. I know I internalized that as a child, and I think if we all dig down deep, we have a sense that, oh, I'm not like everybody else, or I don't fit in, or whatever it is, whatever that insecurity happens to be. And now there are a lot of children who are, being born and coming in who really are not typical. They are really, we all are unique. No one's typical, but they're coming in ways that are very different from what the quote unquote norm has been. And, I think that it presents a challenge for the parents. There's always going to be struggles that go along with it. But the way I think of it is like it's unraveling everything that's inside me that wasn't working or wasn't right in the first place. I feel like it's unraveling my wound that I'm different from everyone else. I think that it's unraveling all the dysfunctional ways that I relate to society, right? Like feeling like I have to put on an act about who I am, or feeling like I need to be different than how I am, or feeling like I'm not enough. I know so many women who feel like they're not enough, right? And then we have a child who comes in who's different. And when my daughter was first born, I thought, oh, I'm just going to hide her little leg braces that she's wearing. And then I was like, what? What am I doing? I'm like, forget about it. She's amazing exactly how she is. And it's like, I feel like we all need to be able to step into the world exactly how we are.
Yeah,
I
agree.
We need to step out there. You don't need to lose weight. You don't need to be prettier. You don't have to do anything. Like, every single person is perfect exactly how they are. And I think that all children who are different from the norm, that's what they bring to us, is the opportunity for us to just step into ourselves and say, like, I don't have anything to prove to anyone here. Like, everything is okay. And, the other thing that I would say to parents who have children with disabilities, which I think they already know, but it's like you have to go through the emotions that come up for you. You have to be sad when you're sad. You have to grieve when you're grieving. It's okay to do that. It doesn't mean you don't love your children any less. And then you can just move beyond it once you have felt it.
Most definitely.
Knowing that they are exactly who they are supposed to be. And whenever I'm going through some grief or some sadness or woe is me, or, feeling like things shouldn't be how they are, I let myself have that meltdown moment for a while. And then I have to reframe it for myself. And, what Rose, my daughter, has taught me, I think, more than anything, is how to have faith. And I think that means is that I trust in the integrity of her soul, that she knew exactly what she was doing when she came into our family, that she knew exactly what she was doing when she chose the body that she chose. And I believe that she did choose it. And that I believe that she is here to do her work in the body that she chose. And, I kind of also think of all kids with disabilities, whether they're physical or cognitive, or whether they have to do with the nervous system.
Right.
That I believe that they're just like these really evolved, enlightened souls. And I kind of like to think of them like up in heaven before they were born, like of like God telling them, there's some people here who need to open their hearts.
Right.
And, they need a broader vision.
Yeah.
And the kids are like, okay, I can do that. Okay, I'm going to come in. Okay, I'm going to have Down syndrome because I really need to expand the love here. Yeah. Okay, I'll do that. I got it. That's my assignment. Like little angels that are just like going to be born all over the place because the world needs some healing. And, you know, like I just visualize my daughter up there, just like taking notes from the divine.
Right.
Okay. Yes. Okay. I can handle paralyzed legs. No big deal.
Right.
I'll do that. I'll be happy and joyful anyway. Okay.
Yeah.
I got it. And so, I mean, I just choose to see things in, you know, in a way that's empowering for me and for her.
Right.
Because I believe that any outcome's possible. Like, it's equally as true that it's sad that your legs don't work like someone else. But if that's what you focus on, then there's going to be a sadness and grief hanging over your life that doesn't need to be there.
Of course.
But if it's like, okay, if I focus on how amazing she is and how she can overcome any obstacle, and you know that she has that power within her, then that's equally as true.
Right.
But I think it's going to give her a much better life. So, you know, there's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be days, I know, where I'm going to break down, where I'm going to be at the hospital and she's having testing and I'm having a panic attack about it.
Right.
But I try to always come back to center and, you know, like reframe it in a way that's empowering for her and for me and for our family.
Well, you know, I think everything you shared should be empowering for anybody that's listening, because I think that we don't give ourselves permission to feel, you know, to really to feel emotions, to feel to allow ourselves to feel overwhelmed, to feel that we can't handle what's in front of us, you know, that to feel anxious, and feel like, you know, I don't know if I can handle this. And I'm so glad that you openly shared that, because I think a lot of people do experience those emotions, but they do it like in hiding. They do it in the back room and they cry secretly in the dark in the closet where no one's looking. And I think that it's important to understand it's okay to grieve. It's okay to be overwhelmed. It's okay to be stressed or to feel anxious about the safeness and the care of your child. That's normal.
Totally normal. You don't have to feel ashamed about it, like you shouldn't be feeling that way, because you wouldn't be a normal, healthy person if you weren't feeling those emotions, going through something hard. And there's so many people who have gone through something similar, and you can end up being a support for each other. Like, we all need to know each other's struggles so that we can hold space for each other.
I love that, hold space for each other. Yeah, I love that.
And, you know, I'm really lucky because I have some really good girlfriends who are able to do that for me. You know, like, not everybody can be with you in your pain. Some people want to change it. Some people want you to feel better or to not, you know, not pay attention to it or pretend like nothing's happening. And it really doesn't serve you. And I'm lucky that I have some powerful women in my life who could just be there with me in my grief and in my darkest times and not try to change what I was feeling, not try to make me look at the bright side of things, but just be there with me when I was hurting. Because I think that's part of the process. Like, you have to feel it and then you can move beyond it. You can't just look on the sunny side of things and stuff down. Right?
Well, you know, I actually had Megan Gunnell. I don't know if you're familiar. She's a psychotherapist. And one of the things that she's talked about very openly on the show was the importance of sitting down with whatever it is that you feel like is overwhelming you, like that very stressful thing in your life, that painful thing in your life, actually sitting down with it and allowing. And I think that what that kind of signifies when you sit down with it is you're creating space for the grief, creating space for the feeling of being overwhelmed, feeling that's allowing space to feel stressed. And I think that I am so happy that people in your life have recognized the need for you to do that, the need for you to feel sad or to feel overwhelmed, to feel stressed, and to not tell you to get over it or get through it, you know, because I think it's such a hurtful thing to do to someone when they're dealing with a very traumatic situation, when they're dealing with loss, or when they're dealing with the care of a special needs child, to tell them to get over it or to move on or to see the brighter side, because at that time you're in the dark place right now. No, come into the dark place with me and help me deal with it. Show me, be a light for me so that I can feel better. But understand, I'm in this dark place, and come in here with me.
That's right. That's so beautiful. And that's what it is. It's like, I feel like we've almost lost the ability to feel the full emotional range. Like, and especially in the world of yoga and spirituality, there's this tendency to like use the law of attraction to always think positive thoughts. And I agree with some of the tenets of the law of attraction, but at the same time, you can't be in emotional denial.
Exactly. Yeah, you're right. You can't deny the emotions.
You just got to be there. You just got to feel it. And I think, too, as women, we're in touch with that, but we've also been taught to stuff it down for fear that we're going to be called like a crazy lady or a maniac, or she's hysterical, or she's out of control. And just having the ability to be able to express the full emotional range when it's necessary, to be able to be hysterical when you feel hysterical, because there are times in life that merit that.
Yeah.
Like if you're not losing it, when your daughter's head is blowing up like an alien, then what's wrong with you?
Yeah,
like where,
Yeah.
And everybody has their own challenges in life. And every challenges show up differently for every person, but we do need to all be able to just feel what we're feeling.
And I love that. Just feel what you're feeling and be okay with that.
And be okay with it. Yeah.
So now, as a business owner, during this time when you were taking care of your child, how did you balance that of, having to deal with the care of your child and the feeling you're overwhelmed with the situation, you're concerned about the safetyness of your child, you see your child struggling, you're taking your child back and forth to doctor's appointments, she's going through surgeries, and you're running a business at this time, correct?
I am, but fortunately I have a really wonderful husband who just took over. And we have such an amazing yoga community and a community of teachers who were also incredibly and continue to be incredibly supportive and have really helped out and made things just work even when I couldn't be there. And I'm still not there like I used to be at the yoga studios.
Right, because you are taking care of your children, right? You also have another...
I have an amazing 4.5-year-old, soon to be 5-year-old, who's just the most incredible big brother and is also just benefiting from, that's not quite the right, I want to frame it, but who is really turning into an exceptional person because of the struggles he's gone through with having a sister who, isn't typical.
Right, yeah. I'm sure that can be very challenging for him as well.
It really was challenging. It was very, very hard for him. But he's rising up to the occasion.
Now, one of the things that I do recall is that you said that it was really important for you to see your children thrive. And I feel like when a business selects a name, that it says a lot about the owners and the mission of the business. And it was ironic that you used the word thrive. And I know that your business is called Thrive. So why did you and your husband Ian choose the name Thrive?
100% because of Rose.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, we had been thinking about changing our name for years. Our name change process took us 3 or 4 years. Most people don't know that because it was behind the scenes. But, we teach primarily hot yoga, which is formerly known as Bikram yoga. And a few years ago, it came out that Bikram was involved in some not so savory behavior
from our previous conversation.
And we've always been, independently owned local small businesses. We've never supported him. It's not a franchise. The name just denoted the kind of yoga that you taught, right? So, it was okay, it makes sense to have this name because this is the kind of yoga that we teach. But as soon as the scandals broke, we just made an immediate decision to stop sending people to his teacher training so that we were not in any way, even secondarily, supporting him financially.
I understand.
And then we decided we were going to change our name. But it's a slow and tricky process to change your name. You start thinking of all these fantastic names, and then you go online, and all the domain names are already taken. And
I've gone through that myself.
I bet you have. And, there are a few businesses out there that have the name Thrive already. That was the first name that we thought of that we liked. We thought, there's other businesses that have this name already. I don't know if we should choose it. And we had some other names, and we were looking through domain names that were available. And then after Rose was born, it just became clear. I was like, how we dropped the name Thrive? Because we had thought about it. And we were like, no, we're going to drop that. I'm like, I think that needs to be our name because That's what we want for our daughter.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we want for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we want for every person who comes through the door of our
Right.
studios, is to thrive.
Yeah.
What we want is to offer services that help people to thrive in their lives. So
Mm-hmm.
it really, in one word, encapsulated everything that we wanted for ourselves, for our children, and for everyone who comes to the yoga studio. So we circled back and, like, now 4 years later, have finally changed our names and gotten new signs up, and took a while.
Took a while.
Uh-huh.
Now, I definitely want to give you an opportunity to talk about the event that's coming up, because
Great.
Thrive Hot Yoga is actually part of this
Mm-hmm.
event. So can you talk a little bit more about the event?
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be great. So this is our second year at Ford Arts Beats and Eats, doing a class called Practice for a Purpose. It's sponsored by Priority Health.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a really fun outdoor event. It's going to be a yoga class to music. Everybody who attends will get a free bottle of water. There's going to be a kids' play station there, like where they can do arts and crafts. So the whole family can come. It's not just like adults. If you want to bring your kids with you, you can come and bring your kids.
So if the parents are doing yoga, the kids
They could just run over to the craft station, color picture, come back and do some yoga postures with their parents. It's very, very relaxed in that way. Last year, my son was 3.5, almost 4, and he was, he had one of his friends, and he would do a few yoga poses, and then they would chase each other a little bit, and then they would come back to their yoga mats, and I mean, it's just like
minutes of yoga, do a pose, downward dog, and then let me go over here and play with the craft.
exactly. So they decided to just, make it a little bit more fun like that this year.
Yeah,
So
I
if you
love
want to
it.
bring your kids, you can,
I
and
love it.
you don't have to worry about trying to contain them because it's outside, so it's not really distracting to anyone because there's plenty of space for them to kind of run around and play, and you can keep your eye on them while you're practicing your yoga. The class is open to everyone, to all ability levels. So
So all fitness levels can
all
come.
fitness levels can come, and that's true of all of our classes as well.
Okay.
Any fitness level can come. I think there's this idea out there of a stereotypical yoga person, who's super fit, wearing the cutest little hot yoga pants, and, a little bit intimidating, a bunch of beaded bracelets on, and, like... Those people are welcome also.
Right.
We won't discriminate against you if you are wearing hot pants, but everybody can come and do a yoga class. It doesn't matter what your fitness levels are. And in fact, if you're not flexible, that's why you should be doing yoga.
Of course,
Just come on in. All of our teachers are very loving and supportive, and you just get started and you start wherever you are and you work up. And it doesn't mean that a class isn't advanced as well, because you can come in and there are different levels of depth that you can practice in a yoga posture. So someone in their first class is going to be practicing very differently than someone who's been practicing for 10 years, but both people can get what they need out of the same yoga posture.
Yes.
And so, we're also going to be having at least one person on stage demonstrating wheelchair modifications, because we want to be more inclusive, because I want my daughter to be able to walk or wheel into any yoga class.
I love it.
Because I think she's still going to walk, but
Yes.
I don't know how, but I think she will. But if she is using a wheelchair, I want her to be able to go to a yoga class with her friends and have a yoga teacher not be scared if she's using a wheelchair. There's nothing to be afraid of. People who use wheelchairs know their bodies. They, believe me, they go to lots and lots of doctor's appointments. They can ask their doctors what they can do and what they can't do.
Right.
And practice yoga just like everybody else. So all ability levels are welcome, and all, adaptabilities are welcome as well. So anyone could come.
I've seen people in wheelchairs do some amazing things. Some of them are some of the best athletes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If you see some of the Paralympics videos, it's shocking.
Amazing. Yeah.
Amazing. And there's an amazing yoga teacher, actually. He's out of Wisconsin, I think. His name is Matthew Sanford. And I think he had like a car accident when he was like 18 or 19 years old.
Okay.
He became a yoga teacher after he was paralyzed and started using a wheelchair. And I think he has a fairly high spinal cord injury. It's not low on his spine. I think it's a thoracic injury,
wow. Yeah,
if you have a thoracic spinal cord injury, basically there's going to be no movement from the waist down. I could be wrong about that, but anyway, he's just like an inspiration and amazing. So anything's possible. We all just have to believe in ourselves. Like we all just have to have the confidence to step out in the world, knowing that, yeah, here I am. I'm fine just the way I am. I can do this. And So that's what we're starting to move toward at Thrive. There's a couple other things too. The guy who puts on Forward Arts Beats and Eats, John Witz, wants to make it really fun for everyone. So he's also giving out mimosas after the class as well. So you get relaxed doing yoga and then get really relaxed by having a mimosa after. So I think for a $10 donation toward a really amazing cause, you're getting way more than $10 worth of yoga and
You gotta get the mimosa.
mimosas and water and just fun stuff.
No, and ironically, we were talking about yoga and the wonderful benefits of it. I just wanted to ask you something because I saw on your website that you mentioned that you fell in love with yoga from your first conscious inhalation, and I love the way you put that. What led you to become a yoga instructor in the first place?
That's so funny because it wasn't part of my life plan, nor my parents' life plan for me to become a yoga teacher. I graduated from college, and then I went and taught English in South America. I came home. I was supposed to start graduate school in the summer at University of Michigan. I was already enrolled, and I started practicing yoga, and I was like, whew, I love this. I feel so good from this. I think I just want to learn more about it and go to a teacher training. And at that point of time, yoga wasn't very popular, especially in the Midwest. Like when I first started teaching yoga, people had no idea what I was talking about. They'd be like, yogurt? What do you mean yogurt?
Yogurt.
You teach yogurt? That doesn't make any sense. And so I went out and I did this really intensive yoga teacher training. I came home. It was June. The program that I was doing started in the summertime. It was an accelerated Master's of Education and Certification in 1 year.
Oh, wow.
I went to 1 day of my master's program. I deferred for a year. Needless to say, I did not go back that second year.
Right.
I didn't go back to the third year either. After that, you can't defer anymore.
Yeah, you can't defer anymore, no.
No. And never got my master's degree.
Right.
And here I am.
Here you are. And how many years has it been?
20 years later.
Years. Now, how would you describe yoga to a person that has never experienced this transformative form of exercise?
Well, it's a really unique form of exercise because it works your whole body. So the postures that we practice are static, meaning we don't practice a flow in our hot yoga classes. We hold these poses in stillness with breath. And a lot of people think, I'm not going to get a good yoga or I'm not going to get a workout doing yoga. But it's amazing.
It's amazing workout.
How intense it can be in the stillness and holding. Most yoga postures will require from you both flexibility and strength, especially the postures in the hot classes that we practice. So there's a certain level of intensity to them because they require flexibility to get into and then strength to hold. So it's like moving your body either with or against the pull of gravity. Sometimes you have to hold your body lifted against gravity's pull downward. And sometimes in certain postures like forward folds, you're moving with the pull of gravity down toward the earth to create different benefits of either lengthening or strengthening in the body. Now, again, you don't have to be strong and flexible to start because the yoga postures themselves will create those qualities within you. So just by practicing them however you can, you will develop strength and flexibility over time. With the yoga postures also have benefits for the nervous system, for the internal organs. We have people who come in with all different kinds of chronic problems who start feeling better because the energy is flowing better through their body. The circulation is working better, moving better. The flow of lymph is moving better throughout the body. So it creates all over physical health and well-being. The mind starts to clear. You feel less anxious, less depressed because all the systems of the body are working together in a much more harmonious way. You're bringing in more oxygen. I just watched a show with a scientist who was talking about how oxygen is the most important nutrient that we all have, and almost everyone is oxygen deprived because of the pollutants that are in the air. So we start our yoga practice with a really deep breathing exercise. It increases your lung capacity and brings in extra oxygen. So even if the quality of the air isn't as good, when you're breathing so deeply like that, it brings more oxygen into the blood, which in turn nourishes all of your internal organs with extra oxygen, which just helps the whole body to function better. So it's working on a lot of different levels. a yoga practice to create health and well-being and, a happier, more peaceful, calm state of mind.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's funny because my next question was going to be to you. I was going to say, I was going to ask you this too, and I'll quote you, and this is something that I saw on your website, that you said yoga helps you tune out distractions, negative thoughts, aches, pains, and doubt. It can open you up to possibilities, clarity, light, and love.
Yeah, well, I think that's just been the last year of my life. Kind of like we were talking about.
Yeah.
When you're in the dark place, you have to be there, but you don't have to stay there. And if you don't have the tools to get out of it, it can be really challenging. And I feel that part of the reason I have the ability to internally, I truly know that my daughter is going to have an amazing life. I don't know what that's going to look like for her, but I know that it's going to be amazing. I know I have that ability because of my yoga practice and my meditation practice. And, when I took my first yoga class after my daughter was born, it was a few months before I was able to practice yoga.
Okay.
Just because of everything that was going on with her. We were constantly at the hospital.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
All I did was cry. I sat on my yoga mat and cried. I would stretch a little bit, and then it would bring up so much emotion for me.
I've heard, it's not the first time I've heard that from many people that have done yoga.
Yeah, it will, because if there's something there, and for some people, they practice yoga for years and nothing, and then they just start bawling in a yoga class because we hold our stress in our bodies. And if we're getting tense and we tighten our shoulders up, well, when we go to open up the shoulders, that tension that caused them to be so tight in the first place will start to come out and be released. So for me, the trauma was all so new and fresh and right there underneath the surface that I felt like I could hardly move my body without just having a really emotional experience. But, you work through it and you work through it and you work through it, and then you can come back to a place of greater clarity beyond all the emotions and the ups and downs, and a place of clarity in yourself, a place of knowing, for your family. And so it's been a really important tool for me, and also my daily meditation practice where I have that connection to the silence inside of myself, that really expanded, silent, consciousness that's inside of all of us. And I know there's a space inside of each person where we know that there really can't be anything wrong in the universe. It seems like this is wrong and that's wrong, but really everything is in the right place. That I truly believe that the universe it's conspiring for all of our greatest goods. And sometimes what seem to be our greatest challenges are our greatest blessings when we can get to the other side of them. Right?
I agree.
It's like I am not the same person I was 18 months ago.
Yeah.
And I'm a much better person. I'm a kinder person. I'm a more loving person. I'm a more compassionate person. I'm a more connected person. I think I'm a more humble person. And I feel like I can see people, who they are better. I don't even want to admit this, but I was the kind of person, I would look away if I saw someone in a wheelchair because it was too confronting for me. And we know what that's like emotionally, I don't want to see,
Right.
And
exactly. Yeah.
And now I can see, I can see, the light of divine in every person. And that wasn't available to me before I had my daughter.
Oh, yeah. No, I do believe that that's why God presents us with those situations, and I think sometimes it's hard to accept, because we always want positive things and things
that's
that
right.
seem, right, and I think that what you have to understand though is that when there's an obstacle, it's not that it's wrong, but it's an opportunity, I think, to grow.
It is,
to open up, to be more empathetic, to be more caring to yourself and others.
Yep. And it's not like we go looking for obstacles to grow from, but it's like when they come our way, I think it's really important that we all know this is here for me. This is my gift from God, literally. Like every obstacle that comes to us, this is a gift.
It is a gift.
It is a gift. And sometimes it feels like something that we can't handle, but it is what transforms us. It's like if you're going to forge steel, you have to put it in the fire. And I think every person goes through a period in their life, or many periods, where they have to walk through fire, but they are not going to be forged into the steel that, that they can be.
Mm-hmm.
Or even a better analogy is like coal has to be under pressure if it's going to turn into a diamond. I think that's a better way of thinking of it.
I like both those ways.
Because, do we all
both.
want to be like steel? I don't know. But I think everybody came here to share a gift with the world.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we have to go through these struggles and be put under immense pressure so that we can be the person that we came here to be.
Oh, most definitely. And, I actually like both those analogies that you use, because when you think about steel, it signifies strength. And you think about a diamond, I think it signifies brilliance and strength.
Yeah.
And I think that only when you have to overcome obstacles, can you recognize the strength that you have within
That's right.
yourself. When everything's fine and everything's okay, you really don't have to dig in deeper.
That's right.
And I think when you are faced with an obstacle, you got to dig in deep.
You do.
You have to find that inner strength, and sometimes you have to draw on external resources. Like you said, some of your friends and people in the yoga community have been very instrumental, to you in helping you balance that and find that peace with all that you have had to deal with and will have to deal with, with the care of your daughter and your entire family.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's true.
Yeah, I think those were both wonderful analogies.
Oh, thanks.
Well, it's funny because I often refer to, there's a scripture called "Your strength is in standing still," and I think that's kind of like what yoga represents and forces you to stand still, and there's strength in that.
There is strength in that, and I feel like it's the new paradigm of feminine strength. Strength isn't, like we were talking about, it's not denial. Like, I'm a tough guy. Here I am. Look at my big muscles. I'm so strong. Like, strength and stillness is, here I am. This is what's happening with life. I can be here and I can breathe. This might not be comfortable. Because that is one of the lessons of a yoga practice. It's like, these yoga postures aren't comfortable and I have to be still here and breathe. It's not like a workout where there's music pumping, you can move around and pump your fists. It's like, I got to breathe and I got to deal with it. I have to breathe and I have to deal with it. And I think that is like the new paradigm for what strength really means. Like, I can't change external circumstances all the time, but I can breathe, I can be here, I can be in myself, I can be in my center. And that's a gift of yoga. One of them. Yeah.
Well, for those that want to try your Thrive Hot Yoga, how can they do that?
Okay, well, our website is thrivehotyoga.com. So if you wanted to sign up for the Thrive or the Art Speeds and Eats class, you can do that on our website. Our schedule's on our website as well. You can sign up for classes online, or you can just walk into one of our studios. We have one location in Farmington Hills at Orchard Lake Road and 12 Mile, and another one in Troy at Livernois and Big Beaver.
Okay. Well, I know we're getting down to the end here, so I want to thank you so much, Jenny, for coming back
Angela.
on the show. I've so enjoyed my conversation with you.
Thank you for letting me share my story.
Yeah, it was my pleasure. So this is Angela Moore of Empowered on 9 AM Superstation, the future of radio.
Sculpted by the sculptor. Oh, she don't see